Why was this French man hitting women? Everything wasn't as you thought. This person actually was a bank robber. His accomplices were still carrying out the robbery. Everything was going pretty smoothly. Until this man appeared. He was a policeman. However, the actions he did weren't entirely good. Although he had excellent case-solving abilities, he always accidentally injured innocent people. Just last night, while on duty, he punched and hit hard the son of the police director. And this caused him to be hospitalized. The superior forced Jun to go to the hospital to apologize. But unfortunately, he continued to cause more trouble. Because of that, Jun was suspended from work for 2 months. His superior told him that he could do whatever he wanted. For example, he might be in love with someone. After that, he invited his old classmate named Sophia to his house for dinner. But he ruined everything himself. Sophia asked, "Is your ex-girlfriend good, or am I good?" "My ex-lover is good," he replied. Sophia looked angry. "Okay. So I'll go first. Come find me until you forget her." 19 years ago, Jun was on a mission in the land of the rising sun, Japan. At that time, he fell in love with a Japanese girl named Miko. But suddenly, she disappeared without saying goodbye. Since then, he hadn't had any contact information from her. To this day, Jun still loved and missed Miko with all his heart. At that moment, he received an international call from Japan. The caller was his ex-girlfriend's lawyer. Jun was so happy. When he was just about to ask some questions, suddenly the lawyer said, "Yesterday Miko got seriously ill and passed away. Therefore, she left everything to him. We have prepared your plane ticket," said the lawyer. "I hope you can come to her funeral tomorrow." Hearing that, he hurriedly arranged his luggage to go to Japan. After getting off the plane, his colleague worked as a spy living in Tokyo named Momo ran and hugged him. After going to the lawyer, he received a wooden box. All of these were relics that Miko left. There was a key and the love letter he gave her before. And there was also an old photo of Jun. The back of the letter read, "Where to start, where to end." And something unexpected happened. Miko also had a 19-year-old daughter named Yumi. She was waiting for him in the next room. Knowing that, Jun was very confused. Because it had been 19 years since the two of them broke up. Therefore, Yumi was most likely his daughter. He hastily confirmed with the lawyer about Miko's marital status. And the lawyer confirmed that Miko had never had another man. Although Jun knew that this was true, he still asked the lawyer. Jun wanted the lawyer not to say that he was Yumi's father. After that, the door was opened. Yumi suddenly rushed in. Actually, she looked a lot like Jun. The nose was very big and the personality was also a bit impulsive. According to the law, 2 more days, Yumi would officially become an adult. Therefore, at this point, Jun was still her legal guardian. Jun told Yumi that he was a good friend of Miko. Although Yumi also had some doubts, she didn't think about it a lot. After so many years apart, at this time, Jun had a daughter. Actually, Jun hadn't been able to adapt yet, he still felt confused. After that, they went to Miko's coffin. After so many years apart, when meeting again, Jun had to see this heartbreaking scene. Jun was extremely sad. But he suddenly discovered something unusual. There was something very suspicious on Miko's face. There was even mud in her fingernails. Out of his professional habits, he immediately collected everything suspicious. After cremating Miko, Jun brought the things he collected to Momo to check. Before dying, Miko left her fortune to Yumi. Because Jun was the legal guardian of Yumi, he temporarily managed all these assets. But he also didn't know the exact amount of that fortune. After that, Jun and Yumi went to the bank. Jun intended to take only a little money for Yumi's living expenses. But he didn't expect that Miko left him $37 million. Seeing that, he hurriedly reconfirmed with the bank staff. Was there a mistake? The bank staff said, "I understand your concern. That is only an interest account, this is the main account. In which there is still $163 million, if you add the 2 accounts together, the total is $200 million. It was actually quite a lot of money. Jun was completely bewildered. And didn't know what kind of good deeds he had accomplished during all these years. This amount couldn't be let Yumi know. Otherwise it would run out quickly. He withdrew $2,000, which made Yumi very happy. Seeing that, Yumi was anxious to go shopping. But when they got out of the bank, there were 2 people in black who followed them. With just a glance, Jun realized that something bad was about to happen. He hurriedly called Momo to confirm the test results of the sample taken on Miko's body. Indeed, Miko didn't have to die from illness. But she was murdered by someone else. Jun asked Momo to investigate Miko's family background, and prepared him some things. After hanging up the call, Jun decided to do one thing. Because he didn't want to affect Yumi's shopping pleasure, he silently dealt with the other two men in black. After returning to the hotel, Momo brought him 2 suitcases full of weapons. Jun was worried that these things would scare Yumi, so he asked her to try on new clothes. However, she wasn't obedient in the fitting room. When trying on clothes, she also imitated dressing like the models. Therefore, Jun and Momo could only do stealthily. After looking at the prepared weapons, in the evening, they went with Yumi to the entertainment center. There was a guy in black appearing again. Seeing that, Jun had to pull out his gun and hastily took Yumi away. Seeing what just happened, Yumi was extremely scared. At this point, Jun couldn't hide anything from her anymore. So he had to tell the truth about his identity. After so many years, suddenly Yumi had a French father. She was extremely amazed and shocked. After they returned to the hotel, the group of people in black were still chasing after them. Just like that, it wasn't also the way, so he decided to go with them. He wanted to know who was behind it all. And he asked Momo to follow him to protect him and his daughter. As a result, by the time they got into the car of the people in black, Momo was careless and caused the car to break down, so he could only watch them go and do nothing. And the two of them gradually disappeared into the darkness. At this time, Jun also met Katanawa. He was the boss of a gangster gang. His aim was to take $200 million from Yumi's account. After that, Katanawa arrested Yumi and ordered his subordinates to deal with Jun. However, Jun wasn't also simple. He knocked them out with just a golf club. Finally, Momo arrived in time. Almost, he drove his car into Jun. However, he did a good job. "What are you doing?" Jun asked. "I accidentally activated the grenade," Momo said. Except for Jun, I had never seen anyone eat mustard like this. Momo also thought there was a problem with mustard. So he also tried a piece. But unexpectedly, the mustard was so spicy that he couldn't stand it. After that, Momo also gradually calmed down and presented the results of his investigation. It turned out that Miko was a spy. 19 years ago, she was assigned a secret mission of the organization. Because of that, she left without saying goodbye to Jun. And the mud in her fingernails was Tokyo soil. Hearing that, Jun suddenly realized that this was the place they first met. If Miko wanted to leave something secret, she would definitely leave it there. After that, Jun and Momo went to a temple where Jun and Miko first met in Tokyo. On the wall where the wish was hung, Jun found a wooden box. Jun hurriedly took out the key she left for him. Opening the box, he saw a small notepad. That was what Miko left behind. Miko left him without saying goodbye. So she was also in great pain. Over the years, she always remembered him. Furthermore, she said that Yumi wasn't his child. The $200 million account was the living expenses she left to him and Yumi. Knowing that, Jun was finally relieved. Because that money was legal. Meanwhile, Katanawa took Yumi to the bank. He wanted to transfer that money to his account. But surprisingly, at this time, Momo was pretending to be a bank staff. After gesturing for Yumi to sign, he surreptitiously changed the recipient's account number and transferred $200 million to Jun's account. After that, Jun stepped out and successfully caught the attention of the crowd. Taking that opportunity, Momo pulled out a gun to control Katanawa. Meanwhile, his subordinates also pulled out their guns and pointed them at Jun. However, they fell into Jun's plan. After that, the bank door slowly closed. Actually, people here were policemen. Jun asked Katanawa to release Yumi. Yumi was very scared to run over her father's side and hid behind him. After ensuring the safety of his daughter, he also no longer had any responsibility and advised Katanawa to surrender. However, he was very angry and wanted to kill Jun. But unexpectedly, he was shot to the ground. Seeing that, his subordinates also rushed in. After a gunfight, the bad guys were finally defeated by Jun. However, separation was inevitable. Jun's time in Japan was over. He was forced to return to France. A month later, he would come to see Yumi. He promised Yumi that from now on he wouldn't interfere in her personal life. Although this movie is a comedy, it also contains a lot of sincerity. Maybe every father is the same. They always silently care and protect their children. For their children, they can sacrifice everything. After watching this movie, hope you will love your dad more.